Hi everyone, Keren here from tuppencecoloured.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me. This is what I've been making today. This card has got this fun little tilting action. So stay with me and I'll show you how I made it. To save us a bit of time, I've already cut myself a piece of Pool Party and I've layered it onto a piece of Real Red and I've put that onto my card base. And so because I've got all of that work already done, I'm going to use the Misty to make sure that I stamp in exactly the right place. And I'm using this stamp set, Weather Together, and I'm using We'll Weather This Together. And I've got Marina Mist ink. And I'm just tapping that onto my stamp. Now because it's a photopolymer, I'm using the sponge mat with my Misty. Now I know not everybody can have a Misty, but there are do-it-yourself alternatives out there. If you just go and search on YouTube, there are lots of ingenious solutions where people have come up with their own way of making a stamp press. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at that, and that is absolutely where I want it to be. So that is my stamping, and that's my stamping of this bit done. This is a piece of Marina Mist card. It's 4 inches by about 5, and I've got a 1 1/4 inch circle punch, and I'm just pushing my punch in as far as it will go. And I'm not quite at the edge there, and I'm just punching out a circle. I'm moving my punch along, and I'm not going all the way to the edge. I'm just leaving a little bit of a overlap just right at the very edge. It's just a tiny little sliver there, and punch. And I'm going to do it again. Push it in as far as it'll go. And one more time. And one last time just to release it from the card. Okay. Now I can use both of these pieces on the front of my card. I punched out and made up a couple of little owls with the Owl Builder punch, and I just used some of the neutrals cardstock. I think I've got chocolate chip in there, some soft suede, maybe some crumb cake, and I just made up a pile of them in all the different colours and just mixed and matched them until I got a couple of combinations I liked. Now, along with the Weather Together stamps, there are companion dies, and you can get them as a bundle, but if you just want the dies on their own, the set is called, we think, Umbrella Weather. That's the one, but I got the bundle. And one of the dies cuts out a kind of a plain umbrella. The other one cuts out an umbrella that has got indentations in it. And I've used this one, and this is Real Red. Sponge around the edge with Real Red ink, and I've stamped over it using that stamp, that one there. And I did use the Misty to get it absolutely right, because I thought about doing that after I'd cut it out. If you had any sense, you would probably stamp it first and then die cut it, but you know, I like to do things a little bit differently. And to be honest, the Misty absolutely saved my life on that one, because I don't know how I would have done it otherwise. I would have just wasted the card, wouldn't I? So I'm going to make up this umbrella, and I know the Misty, I know I'm raving on about the Misty, and I know everybody raves on about the Misty, and I know it is a considered purchase, and I got the small one, but I had a good sales month, so I treated myself. So that was my excuse. And I'm just going to put the umbrella, there we are, and just try and make that looking reasonably even. And I'm not really worried about that bit, because that is going to be hidden, nobody's going to see that. So I don't know why I'm making a fuss. And I'm just going to add my 2 little owls. So I'm just going to put some glue on their tummies, just a spot. And of course you could use this with, you could do snail with this, but again I've got the I've got the liquid glue, I've got the Tombow out, and it does give you a little bit of wiggle room. So the only disadvantage is that it does need a little bit of time to dry. Okay, so I'm just going to set that aside for it to set up, and I'll move on to the next part. I've cut my strips of Marina Mist to the width of my finished card, and when I was doing that I offset the peaks, and I just sponged around the edges of the curves with a little bit of Marina Mist ink on a finger dauber, so that's ready to go. Don't need these two pieces for the moment, so I'm going to put them out of the way. And I've die cut the umbrella shape in real red, and that was using again the umbrella weather framelets. Now this is going to be my little boat that my owls sit in. So let me just bring back my my base card, because that is going to go kind of around about there, and my owls are going to go kind of around about there. So yeah, so that's sort of where I want it to sit. So I'm going to bring in move that out of the way because I don't need that for the moment. So I've got my teeny tiny 1/8 of an inch circle punch. Sorry, it's 1/16 of an inch, because I'm using quite a fine brad, and I'm just centering that hole where I want it to go in the umbrella, and I'm just going to punch that out, and that's going to be my pivot point. That's going to be where my little umbrella moves up and down. Now my pencil, and I'm going to place this on to my Marina Mist card, and this is the one that started off at 4 inches, and I'm just going to punch, just going to mark a hole right there. Now if my punch will fit, I will punch it. If not, I will get my yes, it will. I was going to say, if it punch wasn't long enough, I would have got my pokey tool. Okay, so that the tilt mechanism will work, there needs to be a pendulum hanging underneath it so that it can swing back and forth freely. And to make that, I have a scrap of card. This happens to be very vanilla, which is about I don't know, what's that, 3/4 of an inch, 5/8 of an inch wide. Doesn't matter as long as you're, you know, it's big enough to hold your penny, and it's longer than I needed. I think that's probably about 3 inches. I haven't measured it. What I'm going to do is I am going to fold up my penny into the card, and I am going to secure it with ordinary sticky tape. And I'm going to be quite generous with the sticky tape. This is just the ordinary stuff that you get from the stationers, and I'm just wrapping it around to secure that penny in place. And so of course the end goes and hides, doesn't it? There it is. Come on. I keep meaning to put a paper clip or something handy just to hold that in place. All right, I'm just wrapping it round and round and round and round, so that that is held securely. That's not coming off any time soon. Fab. Right. Now I'm going to measure it against my umbrella and decide where I want it, and I think that's probably about right. So once again, with my pencil, I'm marking a hole, and I'm going to snip that off just above the mark and make my punch my hole. Okay, so now that, and I think going to add just a little bit of glue just to hold it firmly in place. And somebody's car alarm has gone off outside, so that's really good. Okay, right, so just lining up that hole, going to do one more thing on the back of this. I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals, but I'm not going to take the backing off them. So they're just there to bring the card. I'm ready to assemble the tilt mechanism now. So I have 3, 2, 1. I'm ready to assemble the tilt mechanism now. I've put a couple of dimensionals onto the back of my umbrella piece, but I've left the backings on them, so that will help it move freely. I've got a brad. This is one of the mini brads that we used to sell. I like this one because it's got nice long legs relative to its size. So that's gone through the hole in the middle of my umbrella piece, and that's going to go through the corresponding hole in the back. Now, oops, I don't want to tighten this brad. I don't want to push these brad's legs down so that they are tight. I want them to have a little bit of give. So I'm going to bend them over the edge of my piercing tool here, so that they're not fully all the way down. When I was a teacher and we wanted to put staples, to staple something to the wall, we used to hold a flat book between the stapler. Right, and now that tilts freely. Now I want to do one more thing along here. I've got my my foam strips, and where are my scissors? Here they are. Okay. Now I'm going to be putting these along the sides here, or at least they're going to be going on to the sides of the next piece up, I should say. But I don't want this to tilt too far, because at the moment it will go right the way over to there. I don't want it to tilt too far because it will tilt my little owls out. So I've got a piece of the foam strip, and I'm just cutting a stopper here. And the same on the other side. I don't want it to go any further than that. So this will stop the bolt from rocking too far and tilting the owls out. So yeah, that's just about right. Alright, let's start assembling it all together now. So I am going to put some glue onto my umbrella piece with my owls, and I'm just going to stick that on top of the piece underneath, making sure that it still has room to swing to tilt freely, which it does. So I'm happy about that. Okay, now we can put it all together. So I've got some dimensionals on the back of this piece, some ordinary dimensionals, and I'm going to put that, let me see, around about there, I think. Okay, so I've attached my owls to my base card with a few dimensionals, so they are now nicely in place. So the next layer is going to go over the top like this. So I'm just going to take the backing off these stopper pieces, and actually I'm just going to put a little bit along here and here, just to give it a little bit of stability. Get off. Now this is going to be quite a bulky card, so if you're sending it through the post, you might want to put it in a little box, or this might be one to be hand delivered. I'm going to leave the topping on that because these strips will hold it. So I want that to sort of come in there like that. And my last piece, and I'm actually going to double up these strips. It's going to be a single strip at the top, double strip at the bottom. Come on, get off you. There you go. There we are. There are my little tilting owls. I cut out a couple of the cloud shapes from the same die set, so we'll have these on as well. So just a couple of dimensionals, one on the back of each. And there you go. Here's the finished card with my little owls rocking from side to side very happily there. Now the action does work best when the card is in the upright position, but it is very, very difficult to show that on camera, so I hope that you will trust me when I say that it does work, and it works. It's got a very, very smooth action. So that is it, and I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and if so, please do like, comment, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Visit my blog, visit my Facebook page, and don't forget to come back again soon, because I will be posting more projects very, very soon. But for now, thank you very, very much for joining me, and I hope that I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.